Oh my gosh. Jim, I need to just. Okay. Guess what just happened as I literally got up off of the stump I was sitting on? I found a skull. uh, uh, I, this one is. This is a raccoon skull, and it's not pristine, but I found a freaking skull right as I just got up to walk around the woods. And I'm holding it right now. I didn't expect this. I just was I'm a little dumbfounded right now, actually. Um, this is so weird and dumb. Wow. Wow.
Yes, and many children see them too. About 75% of the world's children today are being born with etheric vision. And when your children talk with people and have daydream playmates, the chances are they are actually speaking to some of these people. Because these angels or angelic forces or nature spirits, as they're often called, will often make themselves seen.
And all of a sudden I hear him go, whoa, or, something like that. So I look up. And as I look up, I see this thing.
And I said, I've never seen a butterfly like you before.
I know that the paranormal is real. Listen.
As soon as I spoke to it, it turns around and makes eye contact with me. And then it stands upright.
And it was at that moment that I saw it was like an orange light appear above this row of trees. And from this sort of orange light, this thing appeared. Its wings were actually like sycamore leaf shaped.
And I started talking to them. I'm like, hi, are y'all the dwarves? And I would hear whispers that would say, hi, yeah, you want to play? And it wasn't just my imagination. And I had told them, I'm like, my dwarves, they like beer, And my dad's like, yeah, sure, your dwarves like beer. And they were holding a conversation, and his beer slid upwards instead of downwards, how the house was tilted. And him and my brothers jumped up.
So I stopped calling out Adam, and I'm just my mind draws a blank, and I stop behind that tree stump. I'm pretty close to it now because I took a few steps forward, and I see this thing.
Brett, out of respect for the fact that we've been made late, can I please just bring you on the show and then start from there?
Of course.
Okay. Welcome everybody tonight to Fascinating Fae. Tonight, we're traveling back to the middle of the United States to talk with our friend Brett Manning. How are you doing tonight, Brett?
Pretty good. How are you?
Okay. I'm ultimately going to end up talking about this little motherfucker again here. So before I do, I'd like to ask you a question that's really come to mind. And it kind of goes like this. But before I do, I should do something important. I should do my normal bumper on the bowling alleys here, because I'm starting to get quite a lot of audience growth and people are kind of popping in on whatever episode they choose. So I'm going to try to remain consistent.
For sure.
So everybody here at Fascinating Fae, we are not here to convince anybody of anything. Albeit at this juncture in the show, it's getting weirder by the moment. There's still a premise to this show, which is that I'm a person who saw a fairy one time in 2019, which made me very confused, and I have since basically started this show because I was not really satisfied with my own research or reading about encounters in the fairy census and things of that like. So I started talking with people to try to collect amazing stories and see if I could make sense of any of this. It takes a lot of bravery to come forward and talk about fairy stuff. So, I do appreciate Brett and other guests that have contributed to both my own understanding and this ongoing narrative. And tonight, as we go to bring Brett back, it's true that all of those, caveats remain. Just, we're not here to convince anyone of anything. This is a respectful and safe place to talk openly about thoughts, feelings, and experiences related to the Fae in all of their forms. So Brett, thanks for letting me pause to do that. Here's what I wanted to ask you.
Oh my gosh, Jim, I need to okay. Guess what just happened as I literally got up off of the stump I was sitting on? I found a skull.
Whoa! Oh!
This is a raccoon skull, and it's not pristine, but I found a freaking skull right as I just got up to walk around the woods.
Oh,
and
my
I'm holding
goodness.
it right now.
Oh, I'm gonna puke.
I didn't expect this. I just was I'm a little dumbfounded right now, actually. This is so weird and dumb.
You know what? Have a little sip from my cup, my friend.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I know they're here. They're so present in this program. It is unreal.
Yeah, and you know what? Oh, I was just going to say, before I walked in the woods, just anticipating this call, I thought to myself, what would be really weird if I found a skull today? And like I said last time, I find them occasionally, but that's not like the most common thing. And right now, of all times, what the heck? So this is
okay.
This is happening in real time, you guys. This I am a little frantic. So yeah, sorry about that. But
again, it happens again and again. and preceding this call, the audio was not working again, which is the signature calling card of our friend.
Mm-hmm.
As is making stuff materialize or move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually, these ones are making me almost jolt off the fucking bed.
I'm just speechless. I don't know what to say. I just had to blurt it out because it literally just happened. As I saw it and then I screamed at you.
I have less and less doubt about what's going on at every moment of this process. So let's just accept that for what it is, and I'll contribute some more. So we were trying to talk. I know, and I did listen back, and I can hear that twig snap, but nothing else.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Let's just really deconstruct that for a quick second, okay? I've been saying that this guy fucks with audio at the start of my calls.
Mm-hmm.
And also there is a 3-episode arc of 3 times of me having to reboot my computer screen in order to get the call to start.
Mm-hmm.
That's worth mentioning. So we start, I'm looking in utter disbelief, pretty much at the same kind of fucking feeling when you just found that skull 5 seconds ago. At yet again, my audio setting's not working, and I did mention it to you, and we're talking. And as we're talking, I'm saying, look, I'm going to switch from one to the other, and I'm doing that. I switch back, like the idiot human, watch me try.
Mm-hmm.
And then I hear the twig snap, and you're like, whoa, can you see me right now? And I'm like, no, but I could see and hear the twig snap show up on the waveform.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you say, can you see me right now? I can't see that waveform.
Mm-hmm.
So that triggers me now having to reboot my computer. We're 1 hour late starting this call because I rebooted my computer, Brett,
mm-hmm.
and my screen didn't come on. Starting to sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I'm just going to go ahead and just say what is happening in real time with less than less caveats.
Go for it. Go for it.
I'm just like, now I'm talking to Grumble. I'm like, oh yeah, another couple times, eh? Okay. I reboot my computer, screen's on after the second time. So reboot wants to try to rectify our audio problems, which is what I've had to do each time I've referenced it previously. Mm-hmm. And the screen doesn't come on. Now I'm definitely sure it's Grumble. I say out loud to him, yeah, another couple times I'm gonna have to do this, right, motherfucker? I get back down to the computer to look at it, and hey, the monitor's on. I only had to reboot it one extra time this time, not 3 times. Mm-hmm. Cool. And then I go to try to talk to you, and the fucking internet is inexplicably connected but not working. And how many times did I have to just reboot the internet? 3 times. Click to call. I'm literally saying out loud before I click to call you, motherfucker, I'm not going to talk about you. Motherfucker, I'm not going to talk about you. This is what I'm saying out loud.
You just like...
I'm like, every episode is about Grumble, you motherfucker. There, I did it, right? And now... And then I'm like literally like clenching my jaw shut. I'm not going to fucking say this fucker's name. And he doesn't really leave much choice, so that's why you just found that skull. I'm pretty fucking sure.
This is his show now.
Yeah, him versus Petunia for my, for my soul, it feels like sometimes, but I know whose side I'm on. Honestly, though, at the end of the day, you got to look at it for what it is. That's a gift. It's not unfriendly. You just found something that you love.
Yeah, for sure. That's how it's amazing.
And I do love making what I think is like utterly groundbreaking podcasting on this subject matter. So he's really giving us both what we love at the start of this show. Yeah. Trickster fairy way, though, you got to fucking really work for it through the confusion.
Oh, yeah. 100%. I think that's part of what they get joy out of. Like, it's funny to them in a way to watch people stumble. And it's just how we manage to handle that.
I think you're absolutely correct. I think they get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
Also, the thing I was going to ask you, which is now finally adequately segued, and actually this is the other thing about Grumble. He's kind of a co-writer. That this guy knows what I'm about to do before I do, big time. And I mean, as I start to release this episode and the ones that come before it, that's just going to become ever increasingly clear to the audience. But he's right there, like in the co-writer's room in a way that I can't even imagine. So here's what I was going to ask you this entire time that I was sitting on. Gwen Agneath, going back to my talk with you originally, you mentioned this thing that is now totally burned into my brain, Brett, about how he just wanted more attention for him.
Oh, yeah. That's what I truly believe the whole thing about the ongoing story with me and him is about.
I'm feeling a lot of kindredness with you right now in a way that I would not have anticipated with regards to this Grumble matter, and basically more or less the same kind of feeling.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah. I've had some people, actually, this is very odd, quite a number of people. So I own a shop, and people sometimes come in and tell me things. And I've had a number of people tell me I have a huge amount of presence of entities around me. And they're like, I don't tell this to everybody, but they're all around you. And they're like spirit guides in a way. And there's this really tall one with antlers. And I'm like, I know exactly what you're talking about. But it's affirming for me that I have them kind of as these guides. So maybe you're just discovering some of yours.
That's a really beautiful thought to consider as I wrestle with how to put this particular set of experiences to bed in my head. Something that I'm, as I think everybody may be picking up on, I'm having a low-key hard time with it. But you know what's great about just right now, what just happened with that skull and in these tech difficulties, is it's so confirming that it's a jokestery fun thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be afraid of it. I think it's all in good fun, and it's meant to just like exercise your brain and how you interact with the world around you.
I don't want to spoil anything for you because I know you're a listener to the show, but I want to tell you something that this is just you hearing it. It's not the whole audience because your episode's going to come after. Is that okay if I give you a tiny little spoiler on something?
Yeah, I'm excited. What is it?
Well, we're talking about Grumble Grumble, and I might as well kind of go the whole distance here. So, the most recent episode I put out with like the Danielle and I not really talking but mashed together is because I did try to talk with Danielle on 3 separate occasions. Grumble Grumble turfed the audio every time because each time it was more and more about Petunia. And he was fully jealous. Like, I'm starting to understand this sensation of like what you were saying about Gwen Agneath wanting more attention for him. That Grimble Grumble was literally like feeling like, well, Petunia's been put into form, and then that bothered him, like that she was getting that kind of attention and acknowledgement, because she showed up in the episode and started to do stuff with my fire alarm, like when she was acknowledged. And then it was starting to get weirder and weirder in my house by the moment. And I do think, like, if you haven't listened to that most recent episode, I'll let you. But basically what happened is that I commissioned Petunia without like commissioning Petunia. I just said to Danielle, tell me how much one of your dolls is. Here's a PayPal transfer. Give me whatever doll you think is right for the show. That's what I told her. And she went, looked through all her dolls, didn't find that any one of them wanted to be for the show. So she asked, does anyone want to come through for the show? Ends up making Petunia, not her traditional style. She shows me Petunia, and I'm like, what's this? Because I'm expecting one of her wizard dolls. That was honestly my first reaction.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'm busy, so like it's cool. Like I just whatever Danielle wanted to do is what I told her, so that's what I got. And then eventually I'm trying to bring Danielle on to talk about the doll, to do just a small, brief, like 30-minute prize pack episode about the doll.
Yeah.
We get to the point in the conversation where the first time I ever say her name, I introduce her. I say she's a doll made by Danielle from episode 22, Dumbfounded by Danielle, and then my fire alarm goes chirp right then and there. Prior to talking to Danielle, I literally stowed away everything in my house. And I made a joke to Danielle. I said, like a good Canadian, I duct taped everything down so that my glasses can't go moving on me again when I talk to you about one of your dolls. Instead, the fire alarm goes off, and then I won't ruin it for you because the most insane stuff happens with the fire alarm. It basically starts talking to me, more or less.
Wow. I wonder if it's kind of code or something.
Well, it was like I asked a very specific question because I was clicking it all together, and I was like, I saw a pixie that was purple, and I'm in the kitchen, and I'm like, and Danielle asked, does anything want to come through for the show? This is after I talked with Danielle. I'm standing in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about the fact that when we were talking, my fire alarm just did a single chirp out of nowhere when we were talking. And then I say out loud, was Petunia the pixie that I saw? And I'm like getting hit with like this goosebump wave that reminds me of exactly what was happening that day in my boat. And as I finish saying, is Petunia the pixie that I saw, my fire alarm goes beep, 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 beep. Like it fucking answers me.
Man, that's amazing.
Isn't it?
So spooky.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But then I go back to my computer after that event, and I'm trying to get a hold of Danielle to tell her. I'm like, Danielle. And all the audio that has just been saved after what ended up being 3 hours of talking with Danielle all about Petunia is gone.
Oh no.
And it's really incredible because I talk with Danielle, I have this conversation with her, I see it all saved, I get up, I'm like, that was cool. She and I have not realized that Petunia is the pixie that I saw that she channeled. This has not happened at all. She and I are talking for 3 hours, and she's sort of saying, yeah, it's not my usual style, but it's what came through when I asked that question. She's just honestly being Danielle and just sort of plodding along, telling me what happened, and how, and just telling me what this is, and this is how you get Petunia. No big like she's even a little confused. She's like, it was really cool because she kind of looks more like Brian Froud, and I really like Brian Froud, and she's just being very Danielle. And we hang up, and I'm a really constructive listener at this juncture in this show because I'm trying to catch the fucking Easter eggs or whatever. And I'm standing in the kitchen, and I'm just repeating myself, but I just was like, yeah, why did she make a pixie? And then I was like, it's for my and it all clicks, and I'm like, is it the one I saw? And then the fucking fire alarm answers me. I then basically was on a almost 2-day long energetic force fight between Grimble Grumble and Petunia in my house, culminating in me having the weirdest dream ever, waking from the dream to have the owl outside my window again, this time cooing at me into my house. And then ultimately going back to bed from that somehow, I think just because of utter exhaustion, waking up again, going outside and meeting Grimble Grumble in person.
So a continuation of the same dream in a way?
It was fully like this, Brett. They're at a juncture where so just to connect this dot and answer your question, I tried to call Danielle 3 times over 3 days. The first day is what I'm describing, where we talk for 3 hours, we are successful, we hang up, I go into my kitchen, and this answer of my question, is Petunia the pixie that I saw, is answered. Then I go back to my computer, and I'm frantically trying to convey this message to her. But at the same moment that I'm frantically trying to convey the message to her, I just discovered Petunia's the pixie that I saw. I'm noticing that all of the audio that we just recorded about it is gone. Because Grimble Grumble was jealous. And then I'm now trying to tell her Petunia is the pixie that I saw and Grimble Grumble is jealous, and no word of a lie, and I have it all on audio. As I'm telling her and I'm hitting points in my speculation that are correct, the fire alarm is yes, beep, yes. Like I'm like, and I'm pretty sure that like you channeled her because you asked, beep. And then I'm pretty sure, and then I get to the point where I'm like, and I'm pretty sure the audio's gone because it's that motherfucker Grimble Grumble. It goes beep. And so Petunia's like telling me like it is Grimble Grumble, in addition to every one of my other questions that were answered by her through the fire alarm. And then I'm like, at this point, I'm like, okay, this is so incredible. I go to bed, I wake up the next day, and I'm gonna talk to Danielle again because we have lost our 3 hours. And I have also, since we talked last, realized that Petunia's the pixie she saw. By the way, when I said that to Danielle, she just about fell out of her chair with goosebumps, realizing she had channeled the pixie that I saw. By asking, does anyone want to come through for James's show? What a confirmation of her abilities. What a confirmation of what I saw.
Absolutely.
All of it.
That's incredible.
It's so neat. But at the same time, if you're kind of following me, Grimble Grumble's already resident of Fascinating Fae, right? It's like his show. He's been also other things, just to kind of side note here, never said this on another episode, so it'll be part of yours. My musical interludes, starting with the Pink Floyd one at Jem's thing, I looked back and I realized, fuck, I've done them only in episodes with him, motherfucker. But he also gave me that too, because I can't get those songs and those intersplices out of my head. And I'm not joking, the pace at which every person speaks that goes into those songs are exactly on beat per minute. It's so, he knows like in advance that he wants Beastie Boys and that Emma's gonna be, he's gonna do this. And like, do you know what I mean? It's way more foreshadowing than I can even handle. It's like, so I do think,
sorry.
No problem. I'm jamming so much information at you at the start of what's supposed to be me talking to you about one of your amazing books and your art, which is also really on this level. So actually, this is kind of all a good segue because I do think you're on this level.
It is related, I feel like. Definitely.
Absolutely. As Emma said, I feel like we're all connected somehow through spirit. And in our offline conversation, she was pointing out to me that she thinks most of the guests are interconnected and don't know it yet. And I've had more than one person tell me that. So,
yeah, it's really cool to me how a lot of the guests have become like friends on the internet, and a lot of people have reached out to each other, and I think that's really cool. So it's happening in real life now.
Yay. I feel that too. And, you know, one thing I will say to you here just briefly is many of the people that are fans of this show are like super fans of your work, Brett.
Oh, geez. Oh, no.
I mean, I've shared a few of those, you know, kind of like messages with you that I get about you because I feel like you deserve to hear them. And I hope I'm not selling anybody out by doing that. But a good number of people that talk to me are like, oh, you know Brett Manning? Like, so,
oh my God.
You know, I think that that's representative, though, of in part what you and I are both acknowledging about one another and talking about being real here at the same time. So, you know, like I have that same modesty about it too. I'm like, I'm just a guy who saw a fairy one time.
Yeah.
Stop telling me you love my show so much. I'm just asking how they get that red piece in the middle of the olive. I don't fucking know, right? Like, but then, you know, there is an undeniable thing happening with this show that when even I listen back to, I'm like, well, I didn't do that. I didn't plant that raccoon skull where you went to go sit in the woods, Brett.
Yeah, that is bizarre. I'll send you a picture of this.
Our Fae are doing it, which is amazing. And I actually think that like what happened in Emma's episode with those cards, in effect, back validates the whole series in a way. Because I've been saying they move stuff in your house and then they do it on air.
Oh, that's right. I did listen to that episode where she couldn't find the cards. Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah. It's on the level of you just finding that skull. And actually, just to conclude this Grimble Grumble fight with Petunia the Pixie story. So I go to call Danielle the second day to tell her all about this, you know, to recap our lost audio and to talk about this amazing revelation that Petunia is what I saw and that she's channeled it. I click call at 7 p.m. I see the phone, it goes ring, like, you know, you hear the ring. I see the waveform. I'm like, cool. And then it just stops. And I'm like, what the fuck? My entire unit power went out.
Oh, man. You've got gremlins, Jim.
Indeed, Brett. And furthermore, I was then like, I'm trying to say, in a total like confused state to answer your question about a continuation of a dream. So starting with basically my fire alarms talking to me and basically embodying Petunia, paired with the realization that follow the dominoes. The fairy I did see is real. It is purple. It does have a name. Its name is Purple Petunia. Danielle does channel dolls. 5 years after I saw this fucking thing, I talked to her about her dolls. They move glasses in my house. That's real. Grimble Grumble moves cards. That's real. Petunia is really a channel from Danielle. Like, this is banana town in my brain, if you can possibly imagine.
Yeah. It's really, I love this stuff. So it's, if I sound kind of like, it's because like, I'm not surprised, I guess.
You're also mildly psychic, because I was just about to comment on how like non-pulsed you sound.
This is just a thing that I have realized after having done a few podcasts now to talk about kind of spooky stuff. I apparently experience a lot of things that I just don't even like think too hard about anymore. But I'll say something and people are like, wait, what? And I'm just like, oh yeah, that doesn't happen to everybody, I guess. Okay.
I get it. So it's like you literally do become acclimatized.
Kind of. It's just, to me, it's part of nature, and I don't. This sounds so dumb, but it's just I don't. It doesn't scare me. It's just more intriguing. And oh, sorry, there's a truck driving by right now. I'm out in the middle of the woods, but there's still trucks that drive by on this country road. But
I'm starting to come more to your side, my friend. Like I'm starting to, because when I listen to you say that, my immediate reaction is that your experience of life is so much richer than many other people's, and you're actually living in the real world.
not necessarily. I feel bad because I don't want to say that it is much more rich than anybody else's. People's lives are just, what their circumstances permit, really. And not everybody's going to be acceptable or accepting of the things that I'm accepting of. And it doesn't mean that they're wrong either. They're just living their own path. And I think that's a huge thing to always keep in mind. I try to, for sure.
You know, many of the guests do the job of keeping this show humble for me as I get so excited. And I really appreciate that sentiment because it is true. And I know through my own experience that I've been in every one of those phase states of basically suppressed, ignorant, oppressed, and then all the way through breaking through to being able to have a conversation like this with you. But I guess my point, not to detract from other people's lived experience of the billions of us that are crawling around on this rock. Everyone's doing something totally different each day, which is fascinating to contemplate as you wake up and have your coffee.
Yeah.
Truly no sort of right or wrong answer to the question of what are fairies, and I truly think there's no right or wrong answer to the question of how do you live your life.
Oh, for sure.
That's truly something that is an individual choice given to each of us to explore. But if I could wave a magic wand, wink, wink, and let everybody know the degree of weirdness that we experience, you and I, my friend, I would do that for them because I want people to also know about this stuff in the way that eventually becomes to the point where they can just be like, oh yeah, just like you were. When I'm basically telling people that a fairy embodied my fire alarm and was talking to me.
Yeah. I agree. I wish that it could easily be done. I think a lot of the times it's just fear and conditioning, and that's really, really hard to. You cannot make somebody change their mind. You cannot. So.
I say over and over again that all these people that come on my show are these like brave warriors. There's bravery to really lean into what is going on. And you know what? I think that like as I start to learn more about the Fae, and help me out here because you know way more about this than I do, and
I know so little about the Fae. I only know through my lived experience. So for whatever that is worth, I will try to help. What is the question?
It's I guess more of an observation, and I'm looking for feedback. Do you also feel the same way? I feel like when you do finally start to get it, they ramp up.
Oh yes, absolutely. I call it a synchronicity storm. Or like I will experience severe deja vu for days in a row. And that's when I know I am onto something beneficial to me. Something that's going to help me. Because I do have issues with depression and things, and I just got out of a really quite awful year-long one, which was really odd for me. But towards the end of it, all of these, what I call a synchronicity storm, really started amping up, and I started being more open to just embracing all of this again. Because while I was feeling pretty depressed, I was not too keen on it, I guess. Didn't do a lot of artwork. I just was like ill. So I don't know. When I started feeling better, I start noticing all these little details again, and then things start to, at least for me, what happened even in the physical world, like even finding this skull, I would say is part of that synchronicity storm for my personal journey. So
if I could, I just feel like a lot of the guests and me, all of us, are in our own, if you like to take your phrase, synchronicity storm around this show. Because this seems to be almost pretty much since like maybe episode 3 or 4, I immediately started to notice like guest after guest lining up, and then show content like leaking over. If you actually go back and listen to this whole thing, it's like one big story, actually. It's interesting.
It is, yeah. This is actually why I reached out to you in the very first place, because I sensed something happening, which sounds bananas, but that is the case.
Brett, bananas and beneficial statements all wrapped up into one. That might be the most useful thing anyone has said to me this entire show process, what you just said there. Because I'm trying to tell people I feel synchronicities episode to episode, and I'm trying to add value by sometimes recapping longer strings. But if I'm honest, I feel what you just said to be true. And I really appreciate that you were able to say that back to me. Thank you a lot.
Absolutely. No problem.
It does make me feel a lot less out there to know that many people who are listening to this show are feeling that and experiencing that. And I feel very grateful and not sure what to make of it. I'm very privileged and honored to and have ended up doing Fascinating Fae at the end of the day.
I think it is going to help a lot of people. So, yeah, I'm glad it exists.
Well, enough about me and Grimble Grumble and all the stuff I'm going on, about all the time. There's plenty of that. There's hours and hours of that to listen to. I do want to talk to you about your books and your participation in this prize pack with me, if that's okay with you tonight.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, cool. The other thing that I think is useful, if it's okay and you have the time, how much time do you have left here approximately, just so I can be respectful?
It's 5:30 here. I probably can't talk for much longer than about 7 my time, so we have got an hour and a half.
Okay, so then knowing that you've got a little bit of time to talk about the prize pack in your books, one of the things that was really interesting on this topic of missing audio is that you and I had some missing audio as well during our original interview process.
Yeah.
And in that, I lost your storytelling about a portal that you saw. And I think...
Yeah.
and I think that's worth capturing again. Would you be willing to take us into that portal story? Originally, when you had told me it, just before you get there, I'll just toss one thing out. I thought, well, that goes really well with Albert's story of seeing a portal open. And I was kind of looking forward to putting those 2 episodes back to back in a way around that portal theme. But it was a situation much like Danielle's and others where I know that the audio was there, but then in post, just that section is missing, nothing else. So if you'd be so kind with that weird caveat to your own story already delivered, if you could tell us about the portal again.
Maybe now is the time. I feel like maybe the fairies didn't think it was part of that story last time, maybe. I don't know. But I also remembered a few little very weird details I can add to the portal story. Sometimes when I'm telling a story, just with my ADHD, I just tell the quickest story possible, but then I'll be at home late at night and think like, wait, there's like 4 other parts to that story that I didn't even think about. So I will try to remember to add just those little details. Basically, when I saw this portal, or what I think was a portal, I was laying on my couch. It was late at night. I was, I think, watching a movie or something, and I just saw something out of my peripheral vision. It would have been on the left wall to where I was sitting, and I saw this greenish, pixely, sparkly, kind of digital fuzz swirling circle that was small-ish, maybe like a foot tall, a little skinnier than a foot, so not a perfect circle. And as soon as I started to turn my head to look at it directly, it just like swirled back up into itself and it was completely gone. And it was just a wall. So that was that story. And there's a few things that have happened in my house that I believe are portal related. Things missing and coming back. If you would want to hear some of those things.
Oh, definitely, especially given that you just received a skull and we've had like Emma's cards moving and all sorts of stuff along this theme. I would totally love to hear about this if that would be okay.
Okay, yeah. It happened 3 times. One time, so I have rabbits. I have 2 rabbits, and I don't have a cage. They're free roam bunnies, but they stick to the upstairs of my house, and they have giant rooms that are just theirs. There's a baby gate up in the doorway of their main room, and they just have this huge room all to themselves. And what is there? At the time, there was a wooden couch and a chair and their litter box. So that was it. That was the only stuff that was on the floor. And I was laying on the floor petting one of my bunnies. He jumped behind my knee, and when I turned my body over to pet him, there was no bunny. He was completely gone. And this sounds so ridiculous, but I searched everywhere. There was literally nowhere he could go. I looked under the couch, but it's a wooden framed couch, so you could see underneath it. He wasn't under the chair. He was literally nowhere. And I actually started crying because I was like, am I going insane? What is happening? So I decided the best thing I could possibly do would be leave the room and wait 5 minutes. And when I went back, he was still not there. Even though I did another full search of the room, he was still not there. And I walked out more calmly this time and was just thinking, like, this is insane. I know I have a rabbit. This can't happen, but okay. So I left the room and I came back about 5 minutes later, and he was just there sitting in the middle of the floor.
Wow.
So there's that.
That reminds me a lot of Frozen Wolf and her cat ending up inside the locked boiler room door when they got home one day, inexplicably.
I remember hearing that story. Yeah. Wow, I didn't even think of them as being the same, but yeah, it's kind of same frantic energy, I guess.
Also, they can take your pets. Like they can grab your glasses and your bunny or cat.
Yeah. Or your barbecue sauce. So this next event that happened way more weird. And okay.
Can't deny that time will pass us by. And if you try to look into the old man's eye, his iris deep and grey like an everlasting ocean, a virus lurks within his frame, for that he takes a potion. His eyes have cried 1,000 nights of weeping, shut 1,000,000 nights of sleeping. To the end of days he's creeping, but he keeps the faith in the circle game of seasons. They give him hope around the corner to carry on. He's loved his life for 1,000,000 different reasons. Soon he'll be beyond the border, into beyond. The autumn leaves are blowing, the lasting colors of his life blows free beneath his tree. The mountainside is snowing, the leaves have dried and stained the river, sailing south towards the sea. goddess in the sky. He's not afraid to die. If you ask, he'll tell you why. He said, I look down at my hands and they remind me of my father. Every boy becomes his father in one way or another. I'm satisfied I've multiplied my name across the land. Kept a farm and fought a war, held a woman in my hand. I had a boy, 2 girls came next, and now they've made their own. I'm grandfather to 3 young men as I sit upon my throne. The autumn leaves are blowing, the lasting colors of his life blow free beneath his tree. The mountainside is snowing, the leaves have dried and stained the river, sailing south towards the sea. And the autumn leaves are blowing, the lasting colors of his life blows free beneath his tree. The mountainside is snowing, the leaves have dried and stained the river, sailing south towards the sea.
Oh my gosh. Jim, I need to just. Okay. Guess what just happened as I literally got up off of the stump I was sitting on? I found a skull. uh, uh, I,